Welcome to Watching. It is the W4 Power Up, the weekly show where Trisha Hirschberger and I discuss what we have been playing, watching, and reading. But what's really cool is when it's just us gals, we get Amy Cassandra Martinez involved to give us the news for all of playing, watching, and reading. But because this is watching, what's watching news, Amy?
Well, my goodness. We have movies in theaters again, which, yeah. So we're going to talk about two really quickly. Tenet came out in theaters and the New Mutants as well. But this one guy, this 24-year-old guy, flew from Los Angeles to Austin in Texas to watch Tenet. He paid $220 round trip to do that because he wanted to experience the movie in theaters. He actually just moved to LA from Austin with his friends earlier this year. So it was like going back home and doing all that. But that is an expensive movie ticket, if you ask me. 65% of cinemas across the globe are now open, which if you think about 65% is a lot, but I feel like generally speaking in the US, that is not the case.
Well, but that's across the globe. And other countries have handled this pandemic far better than the United States. So
that is very true. And the other movie is New Mutants. A lot has been going on with that. A lot has been surfacing. It's not doing great.
No.
At all. But I do want
to this morning, and it's down to 22.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
From critics. Audience score, I believe, has dropped from 59 to 56%. But like a 56% audience score, that is the people that really want to see it are championing their movie, and everyone else is just pants off shitting on it.
Yeah. I do want to know your guesses for like box office results.
I just feel bad for this movie. And I want to give a shout out to Maisie Williams, who quote tweeted Variety I think it was Forbes's review, saying that this is possibly the worst X-Men movie of all time. And she quote tweeted it saying, "This sounds like a hoot. Everyone get your tickets." And so I was like, good on her. I know my heart broke, but also good on her. It's just this movie didn't stand a chance. It got pushed back so many times. It went through a series of rewrites. Apparently it's only 90 minutes and it's clearly missing a 30-minute chunk that they should have done for reshoots to just try to tie it together a little bit better. But I love the fact that it's going into the horror genre. I just think that they should have released this when because it's still Fox, isn't it? So I just feel like Disney should have just gone, yeah, cool, we'll put it on Disney Plus and call it a day.
There's definitely been a lot of things that have surfaced about casting choices and the director doing some things as far as casting goes, and also the plot that was released. So yeah,
well, the creator of the comic or the original kind of format, apparently they casted a white person into a role when they weren't white, and then they spelled their name wrong.
Yeah. So they didn't give him the correct credit, and they didn't even go to him to ask for input. And the character is supposed to be Afro-Latinx, and they cast a Brazilian actor. So that's one of the many things. Okay. There's a lot. So I want to know if people are actually going to go. If you're watching this right now live, are you going to go watch New Mutants? However you can. If you're watching this once we've posted it on the Geek Bomb YouTube channel, did you go see it?
Yeah. Did you guys see Tom Cruise's trip to go see Tenet? Did you see that video all over the internet?
I saw that he posted something, but I don't subscribe to Tom's antics ever since the couch jump.
Yeah, it was trending on Twitter. I usually, anytime I go on Twitter, I just see what the top 10 trends are. One was this video of Tom Cruise going to see Tenet in a very packed theater, but I guess he went to London.
Oh.
So he went somewhere else and he had a mask, but people were all making comments in either direction anyway with throwing their thoughts around. But you know what? He was so happy to be there.
Happy grand world, isn't he?
Yeah, he was thrilled to be there. So it's definitely an interesting conversation being in Los Angeles County. I am not going to any movie theaters anytime soon.
No, thank you. Robert Silto as well commented saying that he saw Tenet and it was meh.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah. I mean, like, what movie, I guess, would you not risk it, but like, what would you do? What are you willing to do to go watch a movie?
Drive-ins.
Drive-in.
Drive-ins, yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's not too far away. That's me personally speaking.
Dude, I will drive wherever for a drive-in right now. I don't even care. I need to get out of my house. I will go anywhere. If you're like, it's 4 hours away, I'm like, not too bad.
But for a good movie, because New Mutants
True.
is in drive-ins right now in LA County. But now I'm like,
what if I got really high or something? Maybe that would be cool.
Then someone else has to drive, that's all.
Yeah.
That's not fair. Yeah, that's not fair. And then I still have a bad time. And I hate horror. So what if it's like scary and I'm like, I'm in a bad place. It's like, drive 4 hours home. That's no good. I take it all back. Cool. This will be on Geek Bomb site. I don't even know. Oh, that's true. STS says, Maude, you know your height. You're always high. And I'm like, that's true. That's a good point. I don't really do that anyway. Anyway, cool. Thank you so much for the news. That was really cool. Movies are back-ish. We'll see.
Thank you,
But
Amy.
now it's time for what we are watching. Thanks, Amy.
Yes.
Oh, I see a bit of Doom Patrol. How are you liking it?
I'm liking it a lot. I'm about halfway through now. So I think when we last kind of brought it up, I was only one episode in.
Yes.
I'm about halfway through right now, and I love the utter random and wackiness of it. I'm really, really enjoying that. Much in the same way I felt about season 1 of Umbrella Academy, where I was just like, what is even happening with this show? That's how I feel with Doom Patrol. It's not to say that the shows are similar, but I'm getting that same feeling of
they are comparable.
This is totally wacky, and I love it.
Yeah, I think they are actually really comparable because it's also both ensembles. Some of them are, Umbrella Academy as siblings. And I actually, when I reviewed this, I appreciated the sort of like instant sort of ensemble-ness that Umbrella Academy did. But then I like the batshit craziness of Doom Patrol and like having the break the wall, the fourth wall moments. I'm still in the same boat as last time where I saw 1 and 2 of season 1 and episode 1 of season 2. But I kind of want to know, you're not up to season 2, huh? Okay, I won't say.
No, I don't think so. I'm not up to season 2. I'm about halfway through season 1 because the reason this was on my radar, apart from, of course, Maude, you and Amy talking about it a little bit on this show and the conversations we've had here on Power Up, is I put out a tweet like, hey, if you could only choose one, Umbrella Academy or The Boys, which would you choose? And everyone was like, how dare you make us choose? Which I get it, it's just a fun game. We don't actually have to kill one of the shows, thank God, because they're amazing. But there were a bunch of write-in votes for Doom Patrol. And I was like, okay, if you're going to put this on the same level as Umbrella Academy and The Boys, then I got to watch this show. And correct me if I'm wrong, it was just on DC Universe before, right?
Exactly.
Got it. So that's why I missed it originally. Yep. And then once it moved to HBO Max and I finally got access to HBO Max, now I'm able to watch it. So that's what I've been watching in my spare time this week. And it was funny because I didn't do a lot of research going into it. So I was like, oh my goodness. Brendan Fraser's in this. Alan Tiddick's in this.
He's so good in it too. I love that we've got him back. I love that he's back.
I know, it's great.
Yeah.
We got him back, and he's not back like I'm still Mummy, Brendan Fraser. He's back like this is who I am now, Brendan Fraser, and I appreciate that as someone who like is a parent and like has moved kind of into that next phase of life. It's like, we all kind of look at Tom Cruise doing the next Mission Impossible, to bring up Tom Cruise again, and we're like, sir.
Sit down. Let's have some realistic life expectations again, because, I hear you.
It's good, but I think he's great in it, and I love Alan Tiddick and everything he's in, and the show is wacky and wild and highly recommend.
I also think that, Matt Bomer is notoriously one of the prettiest people on the planet. So let's wrap his entire face up.
100% yes. Anytime they show flashbacks before he's the mummy, I was like,
he's just so good looking.
You know what my husband actually said? Is he related to Henry Cavill? He was like, he could be like Henry Cavill's younger brother because they both have very similar features. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not complaining about it.
I have a type. I'm okay. That sounds good, fun.
Yeah. So what are you watching?
Oh, guys, this show absolutely messed me up, and in the best ways. I love it, and I'm getting all my friends because I was recommended it. because I was having a FaceTime with a friend, and they're like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, oh my God, have I caught you at a bad time? They're like, no, I'm just watching the finale of Normal People. And I was like, oh, what's going on? And they're like, it's just so emotional. This is a show that has been nominated for Emmys, and I want them to win. It's set sort of like kind of around Dublin in a small town, and it follows two of our protagonists, Connell and Marianne, and they meet in high school, but Connell's one of the cool jocks and Marianne's one of the weird girls, but they hook up, but he kind of says, I don't want anyone to know about this. And she's like, I don't care, as long as, you know, you want to be with me behind closed doors, that's fine. And it explains their relationship throughout about 4 years or so. So it's like what high school was like, and it was just like the mistakes you make in relationships. And I kind of love that, because a lot of the time we are presented with sort of like not those idiosyncrasies of relationships. It's big deals. It's, oh, I'm so sorry that I've been neglecting you, but the moon is about to crash into the planet. But this is like a fly on the wall, actual look at what a relationship is and how it can evolve and how you make these mistakes and what damage it does. It is a little risque in terms of, you know, steamy get-together times. And apparently, like, when the show came out, everyone was like, whoa. But then it was like, no, there was a supervisor for those particular sequences to make sure that everyone felt really, really comfortable. But apparently it's something like 14 minutes of every episode, or like 11 minutes of every episode, they're hooking up. And the episodes are only 28 minutes long, so it's super easy to binge. But I can tell that this show was based on a book written by a woman. The showrunner is a woman. The screenplay writer was a woman. The director is a woman. And you can tell, because it's not just about wham, bam, thanks, ma'am. It is about intimacy and about vulnerability, and it's shot so brilliantly. And you kind of aren't even sort of like focused on the, you know, them doing the deed. It's the fact that they are connecting in an emotional capacity, in a physical way. Like, it's so well done. But then traversing through their relationship, like, you're crying because you're happy, you're crying because you're sad. It's some of the best acting, but it's so beautifully shot that I can't recommend it enough, honestly. I thought it was so well done.
Now, Maude, I have to ask you, because of the way that you described it, it sounds a little romance novel-y to me. Now, I have not seen it at all, but it's like, weird girl goes after jock guy, and it focuses on their intimacy throughout the years and the things that go wrong, but then how they make up again. And, I mean, does it feel a little romance novel-y when you're watching it?
It could have. There is no cheese on this sandwich. It is... Okay. It's more drama. It's more like guttural sort of like emotions than cheese ball, because that doesn't exist with this. You're screaming at the, you know, the TV being like, idiot, all you have to do is communicate better. Or like, she's obviously vulnerable because of the relationships that she's had in her life. And it's like, you are learning more about what a realistic relationship is like. You are learning about trauma. You are learning about, you know, vulnerabilities. You are learning about yourself watching this, and you are so protective of these characters as well. It's not romance novel. It's not like a CW-esque type thing. It's really well done. And I think it's actually going to start influencing other mediums now because of it.
You know what? It makes me understand. I saw a tweet that was going around recently where someone had done a TikTok of like, I'm the jock guy. Oh, but I'm the weird girl. But I'm the jock guy. And do you want to go to prom with me? No, but also yes. And like they did this like TikTok, and I'm like, oh, now I know it was probably from this show.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, yeah. He doesn't take. Well, I won't spoil it.
Okay, don't spoil it for me in case I ever finish.
It's 28 minutes. I watched the whole season 1, 12 episodes in under 24 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really good to binge as well.
That's
and I'm
awesome.
glad you can binge it, because I wouldn't want to have to wait a week between.
Awesome. All right, well, let's bring in Amy for some Bombs Away Q&A.
That's a good question, STS2884. If Maude gets on Twitch, which she has, will Trisha get on TikTok?
I don't want to give my data to a foreign government. The tech issues are like too much for me.
Everything we're on is giving information to everyone.
Oh, no. I watched. So I don't know if you follow Shannon Morse. Snubs. You met Snubs at CES.
Yeah. Yeah.
She does a whole breakdown. So her YouTube channel is all cybersecurity, and like hacking and stuff. And she does a full breakdown on why you should 100% not have TikTok on your phone. And ever since I saw that, I was like, yeah, no, not only do I not feel like I need another social media platform to have to create content for regularly so that I have another algorithm that I feel like I need to keep up with, but also that sealed the deal for me. But now that Instagram has Reels, if I was going to create that kind of content, I would probably create it for a platform that I already have. But I mean, honestly, it's just like the people who are really amazing at that are like the people who used to be really amazing at Vine, where you would sit down and like shot list out and brainstorm out what it's going to be, what your cuts are going to be, all of that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, to me, I'm like, that kind of short form sketch comedy is not where I want to be placing my energy right now. Like, I'm having a hard time in quarantine, struggling to keep up with all the other balls I already have in the air. So throwing another one in is not... Not what I'm down for right now.
I feel that as well. I feel like I'm spread so thin that I'm not doing anything well. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, Twitch, now that you're on Twitch, Maude, Twitch to me always feels like my escape. It doesn't feel like another thing that I have to like put pressure into working on. It's my happy time.
The thing about me, though, is like I'm like, what effort am I putting in and what results am I getting out? And for me, it's like, I've just put 3.5 hours of my day in for 50 people, which is fantastic. Like my 50 people are my 50 people. But otherwise, it's like I can spend 4 minutes making a TikTok and it be viewed by 5,000, 50,000, 6.2 million.
See, and I wouldn't spend 4 minutes making a TikTok. For me, that would be like a 6-hour day of like... okay, what concept am I going to go with? And let me make sure no one's already done it. And then what are my shots going to be? I'm going to have to make a shot list, and then I'm going to have to light each shot individually. And then it's like I'm going to have an aneurysm just talking about it.
Whoa. I'm glad one of us is a perfectionist. Yikes. Sorry, what's the news? Wait, what's Bombs Away?
Hold on, before we get to Bombs Away, I do want to say, Jay Hawker in chat said, imagine Trisha trying to juggle. Trisha can actually juggle, by the by.
Motherfucker.
I can, but I can only juggle 3 balls. So if you threw 4 or 5 into the mix while I was trying to juggle 3, it'd be a disaster. All right, Amy, what you got for us?
This question is from our Patreon, patreon.com/geekbomb. If you're watching this on Twitch right now, live, get your question ready. This one's from True Scorn. What DC villain would you like to see take on a Marvel hero, or vice versa?
Oh, okay. Well, Nightwing, then, if that's the case, if we can flip it, which means Marvel villain. Nightwing and Silver Surfer. Is Silver Surfer a villain? He was technically working for Galactus. So Nightwing and... What's a good Marvel villain for Nightwing?
The DC villains are just so good. They're
I know.
So good. I would love to see like a Poison Ivy take on a Tony Stark.
Oh, I like that.
Right? Just to see what that dynamic would be.
Yeah. Yeah, someone just finished it for me. Thank you, STS. Nightwing versus Mystique. Just for all the flirting. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. DC villains are my favorite. Like, whenever people are like, hey, Marvel or DC, I love the DC villain portfolio. And I like Marvel heroes. So that's kind of my perfect mashup there. Not that I don't love Marvel villains or I don't love DC superheroes. If I had to pick my faves, they would fall into those categories.
Yeah, who are the best Marvel villains?
Thanos.
I mean, Galactus is scary as heck, but at the end of the day, he's just a hungry planet.
Amy said Thanos. Yeah. Definitely up there.
Well, no, he's actually quite poignant.
He's a villain.
Red Skull. Yeah, I like Thanos. I like Red Skull. We got some good ones.
But like when you even in Birds of Prey, like those villains, you're just like, he's peeling this guy's face off.
Yeah,
they are thoroughly scary. Oh, mind you, Ewan.
Killgrave. Good job. Classy Librarian brought up Killgrave. That's a good one.
Scary. He was frightening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got some good ones. Magneto. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like Magneto. Yeah.
Nick Lover Music brought that one up. True. All
Maybe
very,
it
very
is
good.
handling this trauma back poorly. That's all. Good question. What do we got from the Twitch?
I believe STS2884 asked this. What did you think of the Batman trailer?
I didn't watch it.
DC fandom went right by you?
No, I saw Wonder Woman with a very strange looking cheetah.
Kristen
There's something
Wiig
about
cheetah?
trailers where because like movies and like the art of waiting doesn't exist, and like the way that I've kind of like consumed things in the last 6 months has evolved, not or devolved even. Trailers don't land the same for me. I'd rather wait until I'm in there now.
Okay. I saw it. I agree with everyone's assessment that it looks a little like The Crow. But I am down for a dark Batman. I thought the trailer looked cool. So I know some people thought it went too dark and emo. People either loved it or hated it. It was very divisive. But I tend to go into most teasers and trailers being cautiously optimistic. I want to like the content that's put in front of me. And that goes for gaming teasers and trailers, movie teasers and trailers, TV shows, whatever. I am there to be excited. So it has to
We're
be
so opposite.
It has to be heinous.
I sit down.
It
I
has to
sit
be
down, I'm like,
heinous for me to
what
be
have you
like,
got?
wow, I didn't like it. Like
I
feel
sit there going, all righty, you spent time and energy on this for this to be good. What you got? Make
See?
it good.
Maude, this is why we should do shows together. Because we're I'm the Paula Abdul to your Simon Cowell. No, I'm sorry. You don't like that. I take that back. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I feel like we are living in such a golden age of nerddom, and all the things that I grew up really enjoying are now at the forefront of pop culture, and we have so much content to consume that I just feel lucky that this is the state of the world when it comes to that stuff right now. So like I said, anytime something comes out that's like video games something, or fantasy or sci-fi literature something, or anytime it's a property that I hold dear, I just get excited and I want to see it. And sometimes I'm let down, but for the most part, I go into it with a like, I hope I like this.
So I hear what you're saying. I do. I really do. And I respect you, Paula, as an artist. I respect you as a colleague.
I was like, Mom, you sound different. What is it? What's going on? Yeah.
Her name is Trisha, not Paula. What?
Here, let me get my Coca-Cola.
Oh, yeah. I don't
Hilarious.
watch enough of that either. Oh, I'm too sexy for Simon Cowell. Oh, good-o. Maybe Simon's got the new Batman Cowell.
Catniss just says the Cisco and Ebert. Maybe that's a better comparison.
More than Trish for G4, yes.
Hey,
Ooh.
we
Now I'm
would do
listening.
that. Faux show.
No. That's all the bombs away? That's done.
Yes.
That's watching done.
I like that you just made the watching W. It's perfect.
Do your thumbs bend backwards that much?
Yeah, mine are bad.
Yeah.
They're weird. I have weird thumbs. And on that note, thanks for watching, everybody. See you soon with reading. Bye.
Bye.